All right. We got version 9 of Ask Euge. Ask Euge, the questions flowing fast and furiously. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Rolling Stone magazine released its list of the 100 greatest punk albums of all time Monday. Records by the Minutemen, yeah. X-Ray Specs, yeah. And the Ramones, yeah. Cracked the top 3. Have you seen the list? What did you think of it? I thought the list, first of all, I thought the list had too many bands from the Pacific Northwest. I'm sorry. They later became a factor, and I guess the list is 100 greatest records of all, punk records of all time. So I guess it falls under that rubric of that. But I had friends up in Seattle, Pacific Northwest. Chris Cornell and Kim Thayil were roadies for Whipping Boy. One show. And I said, look, if you guys can get it, we can't get in. We really want to see you guys, but we're too young. I said, okay, well, you carry equipment. You can get in as our crew. Got them into the show. As long as you're here to load out when we're done. And of course, they were not there to load out when we're done. But anyway, it was a show. Whipping Boy, and I think the DOA and DC3 was a show. Who remembers? I don't know. But Pacific Northwest was enlivened by these later events. But in 80, like I got into this in 77. So 77, some bands that were significant between 77 and 82, I would consider being prime for the list. So I'm going to be ageist about this. If you're like they put DRI on the list. DRI wasn't an issue in my mind until 1984. So falling outside, maybe their first record was great. I'm not hating on DRI except to say, do they really belong on that list? There are a lot of bands that were like not on that list that I think should have been on the list. Like to not put the Adolescents on the list. Are you out of your mind, right? Wasted Youth, Gangrene. You don't put these bands on. Yeah, SSD was on, but I can think of Rights of the Accused, Fang. I can think of lots of bands that should have been on that list. Not exclusively hardcore, but significant from 77 on through to 82. So early New York, I was perfectly happy seeing Johnny Thunders on there and the New York Dolls and so on. Fine with that. But there were a few too many Brits on the list as well. Sorry, my friends in the UK. Yeah, I got this bias. You guys got the music industry on lock. It's a commodity. You understand how to work it there. It's a valuable export, but it always makes me. It's like dealing with people who have, career notions about what it is they do that's specifically art. It makes me kind of paranoid. So maybe that'll be my next Substack. I'll give Eugene's list of top 100, but I already did that for this magazine, and it's coming out in a few weeks. They asked me to put together an hour-long set list of my favorite stuff, so maybe I'll just let that be. All right. So there, I crapped on the UK, and you remember when Black Flag first went to the UK for the first time, as well as Bad Brains, nobody there was into hardcore. They didn't have, and the perception was not that bands like Discharge were hardcore even though when they came to California, all the hardcore kids came to see them. So initially, hardcore LA, New York style stuff was not well received in England. Anyway, I've gone too long about it. Next, from the fight side of the world, Colby Covington announced his retirement from the UFC this week. Can you recall a more cautionary tale involving a psychopath being left behind at the altar in this spectacular fashion? If I were you, I would say go to the movie Mephisto. Get ready to take a drink, please. It is about a guy who's a theater director operator in the Nazi rise. Take a drink to power, and much like with a message very similar to Pasolini's Salo, 120 Days of Sodom, where you figure playing along will accrue to you great benefit. It will unless you consider your soul a benefit. What profiteth you if you loseth your soul? Asked by Mephisto. So Crappington, I got it. That he was doing a less artful Chael Sonnen. that's what his deal was. He was going to be this super patriot, like Super Dave, and then he was going to suck up to all these people. But these people, despite his obsessions with manliness, Trump is one of the least manly men, historically existing manly men ever. He's whiny. He's petulant. He's easy to rile. He's an egomaniac, a vain egomaniac. And sucking up to a guy like that is fine as long as you're going to keep winning. There's only one thing about Team Trump. It's Team Trump. It's Trump. That's the team. That's it. There's nothing else. It's like there's only one thing about Maoism. It's meism. If you happen to be Mao, right? So Crappington whores his ass out to the right-wing swing of the UFC and the bald one and Dana White, and then runs into a rough spot and finds out his friends are only behind him for the poking. Imagine that. It is the question answers itself. It's a cautionary tale, and it's the most significant one outside of Cal Scalak, who some of you don't, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name, go back into bodybuilding annals. Said, we should form a bodybuilding union, and all the other bodybuilders are like, yeah, Cal, go do it. We'll be right behind you. And Cal goes, and that's why nobody knows who Cal is today. And the guys who played along, Arnold, well, everybody knows him. I don't even need to use his last name anymore. Cal Scalak or Arnold? Well, Colby Covington is learning the hard way. It's much better to be an Arnold than to be a Cal Scalak. And now you're suing George Masvidal. I'm surprised you're not suing Fabricio Verdun for throwing a boomerang at you. That's right, a boomerang lawsuit. And then last one here was this other one. This trods on my old territory of sex columnist. If making a couple sex video, who should keep hold on, I can't read and dictate at the same time. When making a couple sex video, who should own, with whom should exist the original copy? This is kind of badly worded. I think what you're saying is, if you you're in a couple and you choose to make a sex video, who in safety is the first thing on your mind? Who keeps listen. If you're of the habit to making filming yourself having sexual contact, the idea is not to minimize the number of copies. The idea is to maximize the number of copies so that nobody has any interest in seeing them become public. That's what we call mutual assured destruction, right? Let me see if I can make any better sense of that. The biggest concern when you make something like that is you'll separate from the person. They'll be angry at you and they'll use it. This is why they have revenge porn statutes. And the deal is, if you violate that, if you have a sex videotape and you put it up, if your intent is to malign or humiliate, you have broken the law. All right. So the law as it stands is to stop people from maligning. Okay, but but the idea is that you want to protect yourself. You protect yourself if you have a copy. All right. Now I know somebody, a semi-celebrity, who is married to another semi-celebrity, and when they broke up, the male portion of this semi-celebrity couple, in retaliation for they were getting into arguments, sent video clips to the other party's father. Right? Now, if she had copies, she could have also said, okay, I'd like to send this to your mother. Or alternatively, your father or your friends, or post it wherever you may do business. Okay? By minimizing the number of copies, you put too much weight on the value of the relation. By maximizing the number of copies, you guarantee that mutual assured destruction. You fuck up, I fuck up. That's it. That's the closest I can come to answering your question here, is that It's not like, okay, we're going to make this and I'll keep the original. Everybody can make copies if they want. I'll make it and then I'll destroy the original, but I keep the copy. Of course, I made it in order to destroy it. No, forget about that. Just make sure that you have a copy. That's how you protect yourself. All right, that's it. Ask Euge number, is it 9 or 10? I forget. June will know. Anyway, listen, it's midweek. Don't be a stooge. Ask Euge.